Eternal Echoes presents The 19, a short story by Mario Benedetti. Note: during the Argentine military dictatorship from 1976 to 1983, thousands of political prisoners were thrown alive into the Atlantic Ocean and the Rio de la Plata from military planes in the so-called death flights. During that time, many bodies appeared washed up on the shores. Captain Farias? Yes. Don't you remember me? Frankly, no. Doesn't the number 19 mean anything to you? 19? Prisoner 19. Ah. Do you remember now? There were so many. Not always. There were only a few of us on the plane. But you? Am I officially dead? I didn't say that. But you think it. For your information, I will tell you that I am not a specter. As you can see, I am alive. I don't understand anything. Yes, it's hard to understand. And know that I will not tell you how I survived. It seems impossible, right? You all worked thoroughly and with every guarantee. But a flight is a flight, and the sea is the sea. There are several seas in the world, but in the sea, there are several worlds. Don't give me nonsense. This can't be. Yes, it can. Why are you here? What do you want? Farias was leaning against the fence of his little garden. The 19 was standing barely a meter away. Nothing in particular. I just wanted you to see me. I thought, maybe I can take a weight off your conscience. One less dead man, what do you think? Although you must still have some others who haven't yet picked up the habit of resurrecting. Is it money you want? No, it's not money. Then what? To meet your family. For example, your wife, who happens to be from Tucumán, like me, and also the kids. That will never happen. Why not? I won't tell them anything. Listen, don't force me to take a violent stance. It wouldn't be good for either of us. Why for me? Nothing is more violent than entering the sea the way I did. I'm telling you, don't force me. No one is forcing you. That thing you did back then, so many years ago, was it out of obligation, discipline, or spontaneous loyalty? I don't have to explain myself. Not to you, not to anyone. Personally, I don't need an explanation. You did it for a reason that's not so strange. You didn't have the guts to refuse. How easy it is to say that when the guts belong to someone else. Well, a good phrase, I admit it. The other relaxed a little. It was most noticeable in the tension in his neck. Aren't you going to let me into your sweet home? I already told you that I won't tell your family about our business, and I usually keep my promises. For the first time, Farias looked at him with a certain alarm. He saw something in the eyes of the 19. All right, come in. That's more like it. I know that this gesture of yours includes a bit of courage. Suddenly, the 19 found himself in a living room, simple, modestly furnished, but also in poor taste. Farias called out, "Elvira," and Elvira appeared. A woman with a certain charm, still young. This friend, Farias said, more or less choking on his words, is from your hometown. Oh, really? The woman's expression brightened a little. Are you from Tucumán? Yes, ma'am. And how do you know each other? Well, said Farias, it's been a long time since we last saw each other. Yes, quite a few years, said the 19. They talked for a while about trivial things. The children came in. The 19 handed out kisses and asked the usual questions. Are you married? She asked. Widowed. Oh, I'm so sorry. My wife passed away 5 years ago. She drowned. How terrible. At the beach? Near a beach. A frozen silence followed. Farias found an escape. All right, kids, go to your homework. It's late. And you, do you live alone? Asked Elvira. Yes, of course. She didn't ask if he had children, fearing they might also be dead. With an almost mechanical movement, just to do something, the 19 brushed the dust off the bottom of his pants with his hand. Well, I don't want to bother you. Besides, I have to be at Plaza Italia by 7. When the 19 shook Elvira's hand, he had a strange feeling. Then she stepped closer and kissed him on the cheek. I'm very sorry about your wife. Let's go, said Farias, about to explode. Yes, let's go, the 19 agreed calmly. The owner of the house walked him to the gate. There, he stared intently at the 19, and suddenly, without any warning, broke into tears. It was an uncontrollable, convulsive sobbing. The 19 didn't know what to do. That flood wasn't in his plan. Suddenly, the crying stopped abruptly, and Farias said, almost shouting, addressing him informally, "You're a ghost! A ghost! That's what you are!" The 19 smiled, understanding, willing to make concessions, and he also switched to informal speech. Of course, my boy, I'm a ghost. At last, you've convinced me. Now wipe your nose and go cry on your little wife's shoulder, but don't tell her I'm a ghost, because she won't believe you. The end. Mario Benedetti, with his direct and symbol-laden style, presents El Diecinueve, a brief yet powerful story about memory, guilt, and justice. The narrative is set against the backdrop of Argentina's military dictatorship, 1976 to 1983, when thousands of people were forcibly disappeared, many of them thrown into the sea in the so-called death flights. The encounter between former Captain Farias and prisoner 19 is a confrontation between past and present. Farias, a man who took part in these crimes, is faced with one of his supposed dead victims, who has inexplicably survived. Beyond its realism, the story plays with the ambiguity between life and death, as El Diecinueve appears as a specter of memory, an unavoidable reminder of the atrocities committed. The story highlights the burden of conscience. Farias, trying to carry on with his everyday life, is interrupted by the sudden appearance of his victim. His initial reaction is denial, then disbelief, and finally, an emotional breakdown, evident in his uncontrollable crying. Here, Benedetti shows us that impunity does not guarantee inner peace. The past always returns, whether in the form of a survivor or the weight of guilt. The dialogue between the two characters is crucial. El Diecinueve does not seek revenge or formal justice, only to be seen, to exist, to prove that history cannot be erased. This act of presence alone is enough to shatter Farias, who cannot bear the weight of the truth. The ending with the line, "You're a ghost." A ghost. That's what you are, leaves room for interpretation. Is El Diecinueve a real survivor, or merely a manifestation of Farias's conscience? Either way, the story reminds us that memory is indestructible and that past crimes never truly disappear. Benedetti leaves us with a profound reflection on the need to remember, to confront the truth, and to take responsibility for our actions. El Diecinueve is a story about the persistence of memory and the weight of remorse, a warning that the horrors of the past cannot simply be erased. And so, we come to the end of this powerful story. If you enjoyed this narration, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. What did you think of the story? What are your interpretations of its ending? Leave a comment, and let's discuss this incredible tale. See you in the next video.